Hey everybody, hey, Carlotta Berry here, hopping on. And guys, I am holding my phone. I'm holding my phone because this is my fifth time trying to make this video. And I'm about up to here with it. I am, but I'm showing up, I'm being consistent. And I am holding my phone horizontally. I want to get this message out. I don't even know if it's on the right definition. I hope it is. But guys, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Like you can really, like I can hear you. But listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me, guys. I want to share this with you. I apologize that my phone is moving around. I was sitting over in the corner there, and I have moved to the couch. This is my sixth time, I believe, my sixth time trying to get this right. And I began to think that maybe because I was going to overshare, maybe I was going to tell you all a little bit too much. And maybe you all ain't ready to hear what I want to share, but some of you all are. And some of you all may be able to identify with this. But what I will tell you for certain is if you're a believer, if you believe that Jesus died on the cross and he was buried and he ascended into heaven, he rose and he ascended into heaven, he's sitting at the right hand of the Father. Let me tell you something. God is the real deal, and he hears prayers. Sometimes he's not even going to pull us out of the fire. He's not going to give us an answer. He's not going to, or it may seem like he's not going to help us in the moment. But sometimes, he's going to go ahead and let you know, I hear you. And he's going to let you know that I'm sitting right next to you, and he'll give you a sign. If nothing else, he'll give you a sign. He knows each and every last one of his children. And when you pray, he hears your cry. So let me just go ahead and say this, you all. These last, for a little bit, guys, and some of you all may know, part of the reason why I started the YouTube channel was because I was nudged to start the channel. I was making videos on Facebook just only when I felt like it for fun, because I love to encourage and to inspire. I love to communicate, I love to storytell, all of that stuff. And also I believe that there are many people out there that need to hear what I have in me to share. And so what I want to share with you all is, and I'm just going to cut through the chase, because I don't want my phone to crash and burn yet again. Last night, some of you all may know this, I will open up the Bible and sometimes I'll just read whatever, I will read whatever. And I read a few scriptures on last night, and one of them, the verses came from Matthew 15:21 through 28. Now, it's not the first time that I have ran across this story about this Canaanite woman. This woman who was talking to Jesus, and she was praying and asking God to heal her daughter, right? And the heading in the Tony Evans book is titled A Gentile Mother's Faith. And she's talking to God or Jesus, and Jesus says back to her, she's asking him to save her daughter who has been tormented by a demon. And Jesus replies eventually, because she wouldn't give up. And he replies and he says that he was only sent there for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Well, guys, the part that I couldn't really understand is when Jesus referred to her as a dog, and she replied, yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. Now, guys, listen to me and listen to me carefully. I hope I'm making sense. I hope you followed me, because I can sometimes ramble a little bit. But those who are for me will stick around and listen. Guys, I read this scripture and I was trying to understand it. And I even went into the commentary to try to understand it even more. And I really didn't understand it. But the point I'm trying to make to you is I went ahead and prayed last night. And I said, God, I really need to know that you hear me. Father God, can you just show up on tomorrow in a sermon? You know, I didn't know which sermon I was even going to listen to on this morning. But I ended up listening to the church that I have been a member at for some time. And I listened to the sermon online. And I listened to another sermon later. But let me tell you, the sermon that I listened to first, the church service that I am a member at, the pastor preached his sermon exactly from this book. And at first, guys, because I have to admit, I was still half asleep. But then when I heard him mention that some people would say, but yeah, Jesus, he still called her a dog. And then I was like, what? And I raised up and I listened more intently. And the pastor was preaching from the very scriptures that I was reading on last night. And as I began to wake up more, and I recalled the prayer that I prayed to God, I was like, wow. God hears me. God heard me last night. And I listened more intently to the sermon, and I even replayed it as I was in the kitchen cooking dinner. And the pastor, Dr. Three, was talking about how this particular story, you'll have to read it yourself. It's in Matthew 15, 21 through 28. And he was talking about this particular story is about this Canaanite woman who demonstrated a great faith, persistence, patience, that she was tested, and that sometimes God will test us, and it's not for God, but it's for us. And also it's to help us. I wrote down patience, faith, and perseverance. And I was like, well, how would that relate to me? And I remember that I made a couple of videos, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm holding my phone. But I made a couple of videos in the last few weeks talking about perseverance and being persistent and being tested, as a matter of fact, and how I felt that I was being tested and that I passed that test and it increased my faith. My message to you, the person that is tired, the person that feels like God is not hearing you, the person that feels kind of disconnected, like you're called for greater and you don't see it happening yet, I'm going to encourage you to hold on. And as you're praying to God, ask him to show you some evidence that he hears your prayer. And I know we're not supposed to ask that all the time, especially as mature Christians, you are to believe, because faith is about believing what you cannot see. But I believe that God will meet us where we are sometimes. He hears our cry. And I know 100% for sure, I'm going to say 1,000% for sure, he heard my cry on last night. Because, guys, as I used to say when I was a kid, I crossed my heart. The exact scriptures that Dr. Three preached from this morning is what I read on last night. Because I was like, wow, what does that mean that, when she says that, I just flipped the page. But when she said, I can't even find it now. But when she said that, yet even dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. And then when it was explained, I said, that makes a lot of sense. I had to listen to it a couple of times, but she's like, you know what? Call me a dog if you may, am coming to you with great faith. I am believing that you can heal my child, and I am going to be persistent in my ask. Now, the pastor said a few other things about this mother not even looking at it in a negative way, being called a dog, because it was Jesus that said it, and that it depends on how you say something, if it means good or bad, and maybe even the person who's saying it. So with Jesus being the man that he is, the Jesus that he is, she knew it meant good. But I'm not even really trying to go that deep into it, because I can't really explain it the way a man of God can explain it, one that has studied the word. The point that I'm trying to get to you is that these scriptures is exactly what I was reading on last night. And I read a couple of other scriptures in different books, but Matthew 15:21 through 28 is what I studied on last night, trying to understand it, even going into the commentary. And I asked God specifically just to let me know that he hears my cry. And this morning, the pastor preached from the very scriptures that I was studying on last night, that I meditated on last night. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up to say that sometimes we just need to know that God hears our prayers. We don't have to have the answers. We don't have to know exactly what he's doing in our lives. But what we need, at least what I need sometimes, is just to know that he hears my cry. And I'm going to go ahead and receive that he's saying, you know what? You persevere. You continue to be persistent. You continue to have faith. And you know that I hear your prayers. So I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep on showing up. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Don't you give up. Don't you stop. Know that you are created for greater. And if you feel like your life is mundane, if you feel like Monday through Friday, you're going through a job where they don't value you, they don't appreciate you, you just feel stagnant, you feel as though you're on a treadmill, the way I've described it so many other times before, you feel like you're not going anywhere, just knowing that God hears should keep you keeping on. And so that is my message for you. Isn't that amazing? God will show up for you when you continue to pray to him and call out to him. He loves you so much. And he may not give us the answers all the time. He may not make our path look clear, but you just keep on moving one step at a time. And as you move forward, he's going to give you what you need in that particular moment. So when I woke up this morning and I heard that word, and that word was preached from exactly what I studied on last night, he gave me what I needed to keep on keeping on. Again, as I used to say when I was a child, I cross my heart. I cross my heart. That is exactly the scriptures that I was meditating on last night. And that is exactly the scriptures that the pastor preached from on this morning. So I'll stop right there. I hope you all were able to keep up. Sometimes I can be all over the place, but I know somebody, at least one person, got this message. You hold on, you be persistent, don't you give up, don't you doubt. Know that God hears your prayers. He hears your cries, and he's going to show up and give you exactly what you need in the moment that you need it. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. I thank you so much for listening. I thank you for staying this long. Always know that God is real. He loves you. He's rooting on each and every last one of us to win. Alrighty, guys. I see you later. Have peace. Bye-bye. See you later. Oh my gosh, and the phone stayed on this long. Did I tell you guys I deleted my YouTube studio. I did, just because I wanted to get this message on. So I'll reinstall it, or I'll get on my laptop. Okay, bye guys. See you later. Be blessed. Bye-bye.